6 o'clock news. All things romance, city and down. It's the 7 o'clock news.
Hey, we are back with two left feet. Another week has passed.
Yes, it has.
And it almost feels like things are ramping up to something. Like it's getting more and more crazy.
It's technology, man. It's getting faster and faster. The world, actually, what's happening is the world is spinning faster every day.
Didn't Superman do that to the world? Like he flew around it?
I think it started with Superman, but others have taken on the job
No wonder Henry Cavill can't get a job. All right, so since last week, it's kind of crazy because it seems like so long ago now, but last week we didn't know Luigi Mangione.
Right.
We didn't know the man's name. The shooter of the CEO of United Healthcare. And not much has changed in our last week's from our last week's analysis. The global sentiment is still the same. The mainstream media is still very desperately trying to be like, no, guys, he's not cool. Stop liking him. And
Right, but it's dying out, isn't it? I mean, this too shall pass. This is just going to become part of the backdrop of history.
That's what we said last week, and I agree. It always does. But I'm I'm a little surprised that the momentum has carried even a week with the way that modern newsday cycles work. But there's some things that I'm going to show you that indicate a lot of this momentum carrying on.
Okay, and by the way, the CEO, the big grand chief of UHN, said this week that the health system is flawed. So it will be interesting to come back to this in 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
And let's see what he changed.
I think I'm getting this right, but I did see it was either CNN or MSNBC. An anchor's talking about how like maybe I believe about this, and how it's like, well, but like it's a difficult situation because you can't be seen as like rewarding this guy for what he did, and it's like you shouldn't see it that way at all.
Fixing the system would be rewarding Luigi.
Yeah.
Well, if you take an us against them approach, then that would be what you would say, right?
Right. It has nothing to do with the tens of thousands of people who are also getting denied healthcare, not just Luigi Mangione.
Right. I mean, Luigi is a killer, but he also lived in incredible pain and could not get any help.
Yeah. So he's also 26, right, when this happened. So
yeah,
he
from a wealthy family.
From a wealthy family, which I don't really. Okay, so I do understand that when you turn 26, I guess in America or wherever he was, you lose your parents' health coverage.
Right.
I still don't really get why, if he was from a wealthy family, why they wouldn't just like pay directly out of pocket.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows? But I think that the public sentiment is just generally that it's not really about Luigi. Sure. The gays and the girlies are very excited that he turned out to be a very hot guy. And the memes are going crazy. But right. I think the overall sentiment is mostly just that he is a symptom of this healthcare system, and it's not really directly about Luigi at all.
Correct. Agreed. I mean, yeah. Posters are appearing around New York, too, right?
Graffiti all over the world, I'd say.
Yeah, wanted posters of various CEOs, which is kind of scary, for the CEOs and for those in power.
Oh, the heat is on. I think there's people
for now,
sweating.
yeah. And but you know, as always, it's not going to probably lead to anything. It's other than more walls built between the rich and the poor.
I mean,
You
what
know,
we've
with more guns pointed towards the poor, and
yeah, that's historically usually how it goes. It's more like instead of giving concessions, it's more like double down on your defense and offense.
right
Um,
under the notion that, you know,
we have to
ultimately,
protect ourselves. This is craziness, right?
right,
Like,
and whatever happened to Luigi, really at bottom, considering the American dream, it was Luigi's fault.
right. And it's kind of crazy. Oh, you know what? This is a an interesting little anecdote. I was just gonna say. So this is all directly relevant to. You should check out Sicko by Michael Moore. It released in 2007, and he was talking about
Michael Moore,
all
great filmmaker,
a
right?
brilliant filmmaker. And the anecdote I was gonna mention is I actually got to meet him when I was a kid. Uh, and Jet, my brother, your son, uh, my brother Jesse, uh, is actually in like 1 or 2 seconds of the movie of the final cut.
That's
Sorry, not
right.
not
Yeah.
Sicko. Of Bowling for Columbine.
Right.
He was in our neighborhood to film Bowling for Columbine, where he was initially there to door knock and basically just see if people kept their front doors locked or not, which is kind of crazy because we never did at our place. And we were just playing baseball in the park, and he approached us with a film crew, asked us if they could film us, and I
And asked
played.
if your back door was unlocked.
Yeah, and I just played
um,
catch with Michael Moore, and then he came back to our place to like get mom to sign off the waivers or whatever, and she was like starstruck, and me and my brother were just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't see the big deal, and now I'm like, God damn it, I wish I I knew
Michael
back
Moore.
then. Anyway, check out Sicko. I believe there's a free version right now
Or Bowling for Columbine.
on YouTube. Check out Bowling for Columbine if you want to see my movie star brother. No, but Sicko. It's the reason I mention it is because it's all of the things have that are currently the issues with the healthcare system. They've just somehow gotten worse
Right.
now in
Right.
2024. However many years later that
Right.
is, like.
So, was there something you wanted to?
Yeah, so let before we move on from the Luigi Mangione, let's take a bit of a look at him. So, this is the dreaded shooter. Luigi Mangione. I'm sorry. Luigi Mangione. I don't want to disrespect his name. I keep saying like because he's Italian and he seems like a lovely person. From uh, his previous school classmate said that he was a very good person. At least, like he was always like a very nice person. Uh, they they did find his manifesto, and I believe this is one of the last lines in it. These parasites had it coming. I do apologize for any strife and trauma, but it had to be done. At the very start of his manifesto, he said, like, just to save everyone the trouble, it was just me and I had no, like, help. There's no co conspirators.
You have to wonder too if he hadn't been caught, which almost happened if he hadn't revealed his face
Yeah.
to that girl. Would he have continued? I mean, did he have a hit list or?
That's interesting. Like, who knows? My guess, my assumption would be that if he did have one, it would be probably entirely about the
The
United
healthcare of the thing.
Healthcare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So couple quick memes here. Do our meme review.
Okay.
See how funny you think any of it is. Uh, so the McDonald's that he got caught at, people have been review bombing.
It's full of rats.
It's full of rats.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It's just
I
people
get
reacting to how
Get
sexy
caught
he
by
is.
the police.
uh, this is Italian culture memes. In this house, Luigi Mangione is a hero. End the story.
End of
Yay.
the story.
Here's some Mario memes.
Right,
Because of Luigi, right?
Luigi.
And in Mario, you can shoot shells to like hit people and take them out.
Right.
Here's a quick thread. Oh, yeah. He was an Ivy League student. His GitHub account's linked to a Facebook account named Uproar Studios. I don't know how that's relevant. He tweeted about anxiety. He had like an he reviewed a lot of books. There's a Good Books or something. He had like an account on it. Goodreads, yeah. So this on his homepage, he had like this is I'm assuming a photo of his back injury and surgery.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah. He went to Japan. I don't know what a lot of this is. He went to Japan during his rehabilitation, and seems like he got radicalized against the healthcare industry during his very tough rehabilitation process. All right, so another Luigi meme. Oh, Chris Rock said, Luigi Mangione killed a man with a family with kids. I have real condolences for the healthcare CEO. This is a real person, but sometimes drug dealers get shot. That's Chris Rock.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's a joke. Right?
It's a joke.
I mean, he told that in his stand-up routine, I guess.
I thought you would like this one. Late stage capitalism. Memers.
Titanic.
Yeah, like, and then these guys are just like playing their asses off while it goes down. They're like, fuck yeah, like just make the best of it. Like the world's over anyway, baby.
Sure.
Let's laugh at it.
Yeah. Well, that's the world is over, right?
There's this pessimism and nihilism that people are just
Where does that
accepting.
come from? Does that have something to do with global warming and the fact that the planet is like on its last legs? No. Maybe. Oh, possibly.
Yeah, no, I think it's almost everything. I think it's that. Everything seems desperate.
Technology's peaking.
The majority of people accept it, like in developed society, just coming to terms with the fact, like, oh, I'm never going to own a home. I'm going to be renting for the rest of my life, working paycheck to paycheck. This is going to be my life for the rest of my life.
The gap between the rich and the poor is another angle on that.
Yeah.
And just the fact that there are multi-billionaires now. There are people who actually have like closing in on $1 trillion pocket money, so they can go out and buy a couple of yachts if they need to one afternoon. And they're taking over the government. So why? Because listen, a guy who's smart enough to make multi-billions of dollars, he should be in charge of the whole show.
Yeah. I mean, it's a genius move to be like, to be in charge of a company that pays for health insurance, to just be like, no, we're not going to pay for it.
Right.
Because
we need more profit.
That's brilliant. I mean, he's a moneymaker. He's a go-getter.
That's right. He's the American boy.
So, speaking of this corporate government that America has been for a while, but now it's going into full throttle. Apparently, they're a little scared because this has already started to snowball. Breonna Boston was arrested for saying that basically she called complaining to her health insurance company, and towards the end of the call said something along the lines of like, "Oh, you all have it coming,"
Right.
like the CEOs or whatever.
So she should be arrested and thrown in jail.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the end of that story, I think.
yeah.
Like, how dare she? That's a threat. That's a threat. And
Oh,
she doesn't have a gun.
it says right here. She allegedly had told her insurance company, "Delayed, denied, depose. You people are next." And they
Right.
said the news started reporting it like she's a copycat killer.
Right. Well, and of course, AI is on the way, as we know. And with AI on the corporate phone lines, that kind of thing will be picked up immediately, and there will be police on the way. I mean, it's.
And 100%. I think that this person put it fairly succinctly, and then I think we can move on. This is what prison abolitionists have been trying to tell us. Prisons don't exist to lock up bad people, they exist to lock you up as soon as you realize how dangerous the system is and try to resist it. Police budgets are rising along with inequality. It's not a coincidence.
Hmm, right. Or police budgets are rising, perhaps with the fear of the rich of losing their money.
Oh, yeah, well, it's like we were saying, like, the reaction to this by the CEOs is going to be just improve the defenses and the offenses, right? Like, we need more protection.
And
Like,
get
that's
better
crazy.
guns.
Arrest these people more. That's crazy.
Right.
So you were saying, well, graffiti's been going up all over the world. Deny, defend, depose. Oh, this is the last thing that I really wanted to. Oh, that one too. A DJ. Was blasting his photo, Luigi's photos during a concert, and everyone went crazy for it. Look, his mugshot. You gotta give the people what they want. So, just speaking of the momentum continuing, it's still there for now. And then
Well-
this is the last thing that I think we can wrap up the Luigi thing with.
Right.
Those puny you let
Every
one
billionaire
ant
right now.
stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
Yay. Yeah. Speaking as an ant. So, and all of this happened in New York, of course, the whole Luigi thing. And also in New York this week, there was a lot of drones.
There were. That is
Right.
a very interesting topic.
And Chuck Schumer came up with an interesting comment today, Sunday. Said that what the government should do is use advanced technology to track these drones.
Okay, but so my first thought is just
America using advanced technology.
okay, yeah. Well, immediately my mind goes to like, oh, it's just an excuse to like increase military budget or something, right?
Sure.
My second thought is
Elon
like,
will see it that way. I think.
can't they already do that? Like, you can literally everyone can go online and see where every public plane is in the
It sounds
sky.
like what the FBI has been doing has been like driving up to New York City and getting out of the car at remote areas and looking up into the sky. And they haven't seen any drones.
Well, oh, so it's just a conspiracy? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
You're saying all these people
or
in New
mass-
Jersey.
or
and-
mass hysteria, like the witches of the 1500s, you know, like people were seeing witches everywhere too.
So, I think that. Well, we should take a look at some of the videos and the hysteria in a second.
Let's look at the dronage.
My assumption is that it's a combination of a couple of things. I think that number one, people have been getting peasant brained and just like medieval style, like, oh, the sun is gone. We live in a world of darkness now. Like,
We're dumbing down.
it makes me think of, oh yeah, like, but for a while now,
Because of
viral stuff on TikTok.
social media.
I was about to say,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you remember, I mentioned this to you before, but something went viral on TikTok where someone posted a video where they had a piece of paper against a mirror. And they were recording it like this, like, oh my God, guys, do you see this? How does the mirror know what's on the backside of the paper when it's flat against it? And it's like, this is where like I started to see, there was another viral thing on TikTok where someone saw like these tall things on top of a mountain. They're like, oh my God, ice giants are real, y'all. What is that? And it was just like satellite posts. Like, it's
Right.
just...
Right. Well, mass hysteria works that way, right?
So-
suggestibility. I
Yes.
suggest something to you.
Yes.
And, I suggest that it's red, not yellow, and you start to see red.
And then there's a natural inclination towards conspiracies, which is just like, it's kind of fun. It's the cooler version of like what the boring reality would be. It's
Right.
also nice to be like in on the secret that no one knows, right?
Exactly.
You're more clever than them for knowing it.
And less
It makes the world more
complicated
fun. And it's-
than reality.
It
and
usually
trying to
is, yeah.
explain,
It's
like,
just a simple wrap it all up answer, right?
And in the absence of an explanation, which is what you have with these drones, you get to use your imagination in a way
Exactly.
that
Okay, yes, and we'll get to
society
some of that.
usually overlooks you for.
So
I saw one too.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw three.
Yeah.
And they were bigger than an SUV. They were like big as trucks.
Yeah.
You heard one woman had one crash into her back garden, and like people made their way there to here's the proof, and it was like a 6-inch drone.
Right. So here's the thing. I think it's that whole aspect of it, combined with the fact that, yeah, we live now in a world of drones. Like, Amazon delivers shit with drones. The government uses drones. Weather, like, channels use drones. There are a lot more drones now flying around than ever before. Sure.
They're just deploying drones along the Canadian-U.S. border and the Mexican border to comply with Trump's demand for, supervision over immigration.
That is, oh my God.
So there's drones everywhere.
Yes.
I was thinking if I had a kid, school age, I think I'd get a drone to follow him all day long, So, and I could watch it on TV, so I would be sure.
Well, you don't even need to do that.
He or she was okay.
I'm pretty sure that like already there's apps that like you just install on your kid's phone and it's just a kid tracker.
And it tracks them, but
yeah.
but I'll be able to see it with a drone.
True.
And if anybody I
That way
don't like comes within 50 yards of him or her,
You could
I
shoot
can
them.
call the police or shoot them
Yeah, just you can
from the drone.
Yeah, the drone. Yeah.
I like it.
There's awesome YouTubers who like basically just make insane war shit, like attaching guns to drones, like for funds, like. And I joked about this before, but if I was Disney, like if I was Disney the company, no, if I was like the CEO of Disney,
Right.
like speaking from a CEO brain,
Right. from a CEO
What would I
perspective.
what would I do? I would launch a Disney Plus show where I give the YouTuber the engineer who can create the most realistic and functional Iron Man suit. I would give them $10 million as a reward. It would be like a contest show, right? Where you eliminate certain people along the way and then you just end up with the best suit. And then what do? Well, you take that patent and you sell it to the American military industrial complex.
There you go.
That's how you make your money.
You shouldn't have mentioned it. Wait.
Oh, I should have.
We could have done that.
Well, I'm not okay.
What about
Someone call up Bob Iger. I got an idea for him.
What about
But
a
he has to
reality
cut me in.
TV show called Drone? And, you know, everybody sends in their drone flights for that week. The more interesting drone flights.
I feel like that would just devolve into like spying on people, like voyeur porn, very quickly, like just like flying into someone's
Drones
window.
at bedroom windows.
Yeah.
Yeah. That could be the name of the show. Drones at bedroom windows.
All right. Well, that's a good. Yeah, brilliant. I wouldn't be surprised if reality TV goes there at some point at this rate.
Right.
But hopefully, let's take a look at some of the footage that exists already. Hopefully, that's not one of them.
Right.
Okay, so we've got. Okay, I think this one's just a silly, cute little meme. I'm realizing that now because it's.
It's a pterodactyl.
No, it's an alligator.
Oh, an alligator.
Because it's
right.
Florida.
Right.
So someone's memeing what's going on in Florida. Okay. It's clever.
A flying alligator. Right.
This is possibly the best and clearest video of these drones approaching. Okay, so UAP, I don't know, United States Air Patrol or something. It's aliens.
Shoots it down.
Okay, so maybe it is aliens. But have we ruled that out?
Well, have we ruled anything out?
Oh my god,
Like,
I just realized aliens is
we've ruled out reality. That's what we've ruled out.
Okay, but you know the list of possible ways that we could go extinct. Aliens is the last possibility.
Yeah, that's the bottom of the list.
Yeah,
I mean,
agreed. So just to get this out
we're
of the way,
going to get there first.
Agreed.
We're going to beat the aliens.
100%, and
Yeah.
that's very sad. But I think it's okay.
So these are actual
aliens. Yeah.
Right.
And here's the thing. So they've traveled across the universe using technology that we could never dream of.
Cooped up in tiny little
No,
modules.
exactly. I mean, well, no. They probably have their mothership outside
I mean,
of
talk
Earth,
about
like,
Delta Airlines
orbiting.
you know, second class. Like,
so that's the point I'm making. It's like if they had their technology, like if aliens existed or aliens probably do exist, but if they reached us or had contact with us,
the Alien
it would be pretty
Complaints
dramatic.
Bureau would be really busy. There's aliens are like cooped up going, oh, can we get back to the boss about this?
I
They're
just
all like, where are the humans?
yeah.
And they can't see very
No.
well, right?
They can't see.
They can't see, so they're like,
They're using
they
technology.
smell
As soon
humans
as they
somewhere.
get to Earth, they have to use technology that like we're capable of, right? Like just shitty drones that Amazon
Because
could
they
probably
believe in a
make.
fair fight?
It's just because, you know.
Just because?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, no. I think
because.
aliens exist out there, but if they had gotten to a point where they could reach us, it would be fairly dramatic, I think.
Right. They know how to fly across the universe, but they haven't discovered eyesight yet.
Yeah, well, they would
Because, like, they
like
don't notice
if
when
we're getting
humans
really
are around.
nerdy with it, like they would have some kind of super satellite technology that they could observe us from a galaxy away, probably like individual atoms within our body. Like I think it's adorable. It's just the conspiracy thing again that we were discussing.
Right.
So
So
I
what do
heard
they do? That's
I
it?
don't know. It's
They
just it's just drones falling from the sky. I think it's silliness. Maryland drones. Authorities have noted these drones near military installations temporarily shut down. Shut up. Okay, I feel like this is just like this TikToker sent these drones up and did a little light show and like he's memeing on this. That's my guess. Will Donick? Oh wait, this guy's like I might follow it. I think he's memeing. I'm not saying it's. I don't even know what this is.
But it sure as shit moves and looks like the descriptions in Ezekiel.
Yeah, I think he's just memeing. I'm pretty sure this guy's a leftist. He's just like saying like, "Oh my God, look at the connections."
Right.
That was Americans who panic about drones.
Ukrainians
who are actually dealing with drone warfare.
Yeah, being killed by drones.
Yeah. Say what you want about these. You have to agree, this is a one. No way.
Put that boy down.
It's a firework.
No, but he hit the drone with a firework. That's
Shoot that
sick.
boy down, bro. Shoot that boy down. Shoot that boy down.
That's a 1 in a million shot. So much to the point that maybe it's not real. I don't know. The footage quality makes me believe it though. So down drone being reported in New Jersey. It is wild. Everything we know is
stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
everything we know is a lie.
That is just that's a cute toy.
That's called a flapabout.
I was gonna say it's AI, but I'm pretty sure that's just the conspiracies
hanging
are going
from wires
crazy.
And it's got a bit of mechanics inside. It's like the shark in.
Directly over my house right now, multiple others circling in distance. That's a plane. That's a plane.
It disappeared into that building. Oh, no, it didn't. Oh, it did again.
It's gone forever.
It lives in that building.
I have object permanence, so it's gone now, forever.
Okay. So.
I mean, I think we already summed it up kind of before we even took a look at any of these. Rosie O'Donnell. Oh my God. That's crazy. She's so insane. What are these dorky ass glasses she's wearing?
Her drone.
And today, it's all over the world. What do
It's
you
all
think?
over the world.
That some country, Iran, has the capacity and the
Girl, what are you doing? Why are you posting a video while you have a herpes outbreak right here? That is crazy.
What are those glasses? Are they transmitters or drone controllers?
It's weird.
What is that? Is that fashion?
They look almost like half, like the left
the
left one
fashion.
with the metal on it looks like it's supposed to be kind of cyberpunky, but then the frames themselves are like old lady frames. But then they're bringing it back with the cyberpunk theme with like the little screws on the sides.
Right.
It's very confusing.
That's her Saturday ramble, and ramble she
ability
does.
to monitor and fly these drones all over the world at the same time, doing the maneuvers that they're doing. I mean, not trying to scare everybody, but they're here.
They're here.
They're
oh
here.
my gosh. Don't scare me. All right.
Okay. I'm here too.
So I think it's kind of funny hearing what she just said and then taking a look at this. These are drones in China. China does drone shows where they use like computers to connect these drones into light shows.
Wow.
And And it's
Pretty impressive too.
super impressive. And it's kind of funny going from Rosie O'Donnell saying, like, you think these drones can fly around with such coordination
You
around the
think China
country?
and Iran can actually send drones over here and
Me-
like, coordinate that?
Meanwhile, China could send like a dragon
Yes.
of drones, just like that could probably literally be.
Yeah, I
fine.
think they'd put on a better show than is going on right now in New York City. Wow.
That is beautiful. I wonder. I think they're releasing. Are they releasing real fireworks from the drones? Maybe that's so cool.
Possibly, yeah.
So I saw a tweet. I kind of wish I could find it now, but these audios always start so loud. But it basically said, just like previously in history, with gunpowder, China is using drone technology mostly for entertainment, while Western powers use it for destruction and death.
They weaponize it. Right.
And that's just like a reference to, I guess,
Don't-
fireworks.
Don't
being
let Donald hear that.
Yeah. Well, he's getting little boy with
You should
Wait, is that
shoot
true?
them out of the
what
sky.
is this? That is insane. That is crazy. But I don't. I saw that
This is just
he
such
invited-
crap to me. Like,
he invited Xi to like his inauguration or whatever, and it would be the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time. I don't think that's a bad thing, by the way.
look at that.
Yeah. No, I think I think that's gross. I don't like. I think. Oh God.
But
If
turning
advertisers
turning a
start
whole
doing that
city into one
giant
TV
ads?
screen, like yeah.
Oh well, that's. Have you seen the L.A. or no the Las Vegas Dome, or the Sphere?
Right.
It's a giant sphere that has like video playing on it at all times.
Oh my God.
You haven't seen this?
Well,
Oh
you
my
know, to
God.
get away from all of no, it's okay. I don't need to see it, but like
Just real quick.
to get
while
away
you talk
to
about
get
it.
away from all of this,
Yeah.
I planned to go to an island in the South Seas and be alone, but apparently I just got word it's not there anymore. The ocean rose.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you're gonna have to. You should take get your vacation home in like the Alps, I guess.
In the
like,
Alps. In the
This.
Alps,
Bitcoin just
Right.
became the first cryptocurrency to appear on the Las Vegas Sphere. Look how big it is and gross.
yeah. What's inside it? I guess the casino is.
No,
inside
it's
it,
a
right?
it's a concert hall, and like
Right.
some people have performed there. It's like you can
Right.
also do the same thing. I
Well,
think.
why
on the
not
inside.
turn a concert hall into a massive
They made it a
ad
basketball.
while
It
it's-
is. They
Jesus.
usually use it as an ad. And I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm sorry. I knew that would make you upset. That's why I had to show you.
I'm getting a headache.
Oh my
I want to
gosh.
go home.
Okay.
Right.
That closes out the drone insanity.
Right. Any Trump stuff this week?
There's always Trump stuff.
I'm really upset, by
every
the way.
week. What's that?
I'm like, you know, the threat to throw Liz Cheney in jail and all the Gen 6 rioters, he threatened it again this week. And it's like, dictators do that.
The January
That's-
6th
that's-
rioters?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, he said, no, the committee looking into the
Gotcha,
Jan 6
gotcha.
rioters, which is a congressional committee, and he's threatened them all that
Right.
they're all going to go to jail. And of course, question
And-
number one is, on what charge, right?
So we're getting
There is
into
no charge.
the conversation of democracy and the threat to democracy at an institutional level, right? And these
Yeah, here it
institutions that are meant to
comes, yeah.
protect democracy,
Yeah, it's
are
the Donald
crumbling.
Trump train, and here it comes, like, you know, dismantling, you know, democracy. It's like a collapsing circus tent as you take down the poles, and it's here. It's like the only crime, apparently, is criticism of Donald, and for that, you should go to jail.
Yeah, you gotta kiss the ring. I don't really know. I mean, okay. I think it's wrong for the committees to be thrown in jail. I think that would be insane. I think that would be wild. I, I think it'd be cool if Liz Cheney got fucking arrested.
What about Daniel Penny?
Okay, this is. I mean, I think that this directly ties into
What are your thoughts?
the conversation regarding Luigi Mangione,
Right.
in that it's only illegal to allegedly end someone's life if they're rich, if they're a CEO,
Or if it's good for the Republican Party.
if they are considered good for the Republican Party. Yeah, it's I mean, we saw what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse too, right?
Right.
Who traveled across state borders with a gun to go to a Black Lives Matter protest. And then what happened happened. He ended the life of 2 people, and I believe he was acquitted. It was like valid defense, like self-defense, because the
Right.
guy swung at him with a skateboard.
Right.
So this is just kind of what Americans are used to at this
Right.
point.
It's
It's
very
this-
hard to in a court of law to I mean I think it's important not to minimize the difficulty anyway of
Okay.
just like the guy was causing a fuss in that subway train that has made Daniel Penny famous, and maybe there is a shred of a possibility that in fact that's exactly what happened. He was protecting everyone else in the cab, in the
So-
train car. But 6 minutes, 4 to 6 minutes or something of strangulation, of choking, and
Yeah, that
for
doesn't
quite a
make
while
sense.
after the man stopped moving and somebody yelled, "You're going to kill him," and he continued.
So
Uh,
those are the details that are wildly horrific to me. It,
And now he's a hero, right?
of course, there's
Hanging out
multiple
with
levels
Vance
to
Paul.
that. Right.
At
So-
the Army-Navy football game.
To the situation of what happened, though, here in Toronto, stuff like that happens all the time, and
I have not killed any of them yet.
same. It's crazy.
I travel the subway,
Yeah.
and
Didn't you use it to get here?
Yeah, I did.
Did you
And-
have to kill someone on the way?
No, I didn't. Funnily enough, I didn't kill anyone at all. I didn't have to kill anyone on this trip, but I never have. But is that an option now, do you think? Is that the penny option?
Well, so yeah, I think that the solution what everyone does here is also what I describe all the time as the liberal solution to homelessness, which is just look away. Look away
Well, Doug Ford just made it illegal in Ontario.
to look away?
No, to have encampments in parks. They're going to be
Wait.
arrested and thrown in jail.
When? Oh my god.
Bit of local Toronto on Canada politics. Yeah.
Yeah. There's literally, I mean, you've seen it all the time, right? Like the encampment right there by the church.
Yeah.
And like every now and then it'll get kind of shut down, or like maybe they're checking in on them or whatever. I am glad that, oh my gosh, that's probably why just now I actually saw a sign. I was just out in Kensington Market, and there was a sign. I almost took a photo of it, just like posted on a post, and it said like, if you don't want to see homeless people on the streets, then house them, in like big bold letters. And that
Right.
that is once again the leftist solution to
Right.
homelessness.
Right.
God, that is really
Well,
sad.
I hope I never commit the crime of not being able to afford a home
Yeah,
and burden the city
right.
with my presence.
Yeah, I mean
on the
it's
street.
it's their fault for choosing a job that doesn't pay enough for the place that they were trying to rent.
Well, of course it's their fault. Or they got fired because the company, merged with another company. Of course, we could go into a lot of different things, but yeah.
We
Of course it's
we
their
could
fault.
we could talk ironically about this forever. Is
Yeah.
what we're saying.
Let's do that one time. One time we'll talk about homelessness or something.
Yeah.
But,
No, absolutely. But to go back to the Trump parade. What was
Well, sorry.
I'm just briefly cutting there.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay, I was
that's-
going to go to. I'm also really pissed off about Kerry Lake, another Trump appointee. He's appointed her to run Voice of America, and a lot of people don't know about Voice of America, but it's the face of the United States abroad, everywhere around the world. They have like in 48 languages, translated into 48 languages, and it's programming for the world about the United States. Kerry Lake has been is his candidate for proposal to lead Voice of America. And so if you want a propaganda machine and if you want your own channel, it's a good place to start by taking over Voice of America. And Kerry Lake, who is a Trump supporter from the beginning, claiming the fake election and stolen election, and refused to accept defeat when she did not win the governorship of Arizona, and
Stop the steal.
sued the government, right? Yeah, she's got balls of steel, that woman, and she's gonna run Voice of America. It's like gangsters and fraudsters and liars and cheats. Line them up, and billionaires.
There it is. Well, when it comes to propaganda machines, unironically, we have been using Twitter to scroll through some of this madness. That is a site that is owned by Elon Musk, and it's become a very anti-Semitic, racist, or you could just say edgy, free speech
Edgy,
home to a lot of people, let's say. But
A shrine to free speech.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
but you can't say cis. That's a slur.
No.
Cisgender. That is messed up, man.
No. That
Um,
would not be right.
So Elon Musk is in the cabinet, and he is. I think we've talked about this before, but this corporate government, corporate-driven government, it's always being controlled by corporations through lobbying, which is just codified bribery. Essentially, it's like, yeah, do good things that are good for my industry, and I'll give you like some money, man. I'll give you a couple million. It's not a big deal.
Right.
It's just codified.
But we have, for the first time, out in the open, a corporate government. So,
It's ramped up to 1,000,000%.
why should the United States not be run like McDonald's? like a
Right.
hamburger stand. Okay.
Yeah, just pay people as little as you can. I
That's,
mean, to
that's
be
how
honest,
people can get their welfare, like
To be fair-
payments. They can line up at a McDonald's at 5 o'clock in the morning.
to be fair, America already kind of works that way, though. Like, that's just it's basic. You're just describing capitalism, and like people who have minimum wage and can't afford to pay for their place, so then they end up homeless, and the cycle continues.
I had a crazy thought that there was freedom involved there somewhere.
You're right. The freedom to just get a better job.
Freedom and liberty, and slavery was ended a long time ago.
Well, no,
Or was
slavery
it?
is still legal in America.
Right.
Like,
It just has a
California-
minimum wage now.
yeah, it just has a minimum wage. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's or more like a maximum wage or of 25 cents or whatever it is.
Yeah. So no, the billionaire thing is absolutely frightening, and again, it seems to be just accepted by like most people. They think, oh yeah, he's gonna. That's a good idea. Let's put a billionaire in there because he knows about business and he's going to make government more efficient. Now, I was reading up on the
Efficient.
government this week. Do you know that since 1985, the size of the government in terms of the number of people employed has not changed?
I didn't know that, but that's not that surprising.
It hasn't changed. It hasn't ballooned. It hasn't grown. It's like
Well, it's
changed here and there, but like
Cutting-
apparently it's around 3 million and has been.
Cutting down
A
on
long
bureaucracy, I think for the most part has always been a bit of a red herring.
Right.
That like a cultural scapegoat that the Republicans can
Right. Or a
pin
magician
their
calls
flag on.
it sleight of hand, right? You know, watch this hand, not this one. This is the one that's picking your pocket. This is the one that's saying hello.
Yeah, well, it's culture war bullshit to distract the voters, right?
Yeah.
It's part of the reason why Trump won, right? Which we discussed.
You would think, yeah. So,
Right.
but this billionaire thing is a good thing, possibly, right? I mean, we were talking about the drone problem in New York City earlier, and
Oh yeah, the aliens.
the aliens, and you know, where are these drones from, and are they in fact there, and why doesn't the government know?
Yeah.
Well,
Why don't they know?
Elon Musk, as a billionaire in the government, you know, let's call Elon, hello, and like Elon can set up a drone surveillance department, and you know, there you go. You're going to be paying 15 grand for a license to fly a drone, and you apply to Tesla.
Well, he's so smart. I feel like he would just make it more efficient, right?
That's right.
And that seems
That's right.
like a good idea. I don't think that Elon Musk would immediately use the army of drones to spy on all of his exes who have
No.
broken up with him.
Or his sons
All
and
it-
daughters.
I mean, to be fair,
The ones he's not carrying around on his shoulder.
right. I mean, he could spend time with most of them. He just literally chooses not to.
Not to.
It does seem like more of a him thing. Like, it would make more sense to me that he would like force one of his like robot workers to follow his kids around sometimes and just spy on them.
Right. A drone would be more efficient. So maybe if
That's
he ran the drone
true.
department,
You're not wrong.
he could have a special, you know, unit of the drone department that was just devoted to his kids. Would be a large unit, wouldn't it?
It would. I think he's up to what, 11 now?
11 kids. Yeah. Well, but maybe if Elon was in charge, there wouldn't be any drones flying around New York City.
No.
That's how efficient he is.
Well, I guess he hates Amazon, so he would just shoot all the Amazon drones out of the sky.
There you go. Good corporate competition.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh yeah,
hey,
that's healthy, right? Corporate
Yeah.
competition is healthy.
That's right.
for
I
the
just
market.
blew him out of the sky.
Fair. Okay.
Fantastic.
Speaking of corporate things
Right.
and a little bit of technology as well.
Oh, technology corner.
Get into the tech drop, the tech corner.
What
if
about the
you will.
quantum chip?
Okay, so what's that?
Google came out this week with the quantum chip. It can do in 5 minutes what the most complex problems in the world that computers are dealing with would take the best computers today hundreds of millions of years to solve. Does it in 5 minutes. So if you think technology is going fast now, you better get your skates on.
So, okay, but yeah, because doesn't that imply that, like, science itself, studies that are occurring right now, could potentially start advancing at a much faster rate?
Yeah, possibly we could solve all human problems tomorrow.
Well, no, we can't, because all human problems come down to capitalism. So, and the parties in power don't. They're big fans of capitalism. I don't know if you heard this, but
Right. But
yeah,
maybe,
they're not into that.
but for
They're not into
instance-
changing the system.
Right, but for instance, if wasps all went extinct, we could have little mechanical wasps flying around, run by a quantum chip somewhere. You know, in Elon's back pocket.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, wasn't that? I mean, there
That's
was.
a print.
I'm pretty sure that there was like a tech company.
That's
that,
the number right there.
Yeah. So we'll
10.
take a look at this now. But I'm pretty sure there was like I read about like years ago, over 10 years ago, like a tech company working on like robot bees that could pollinate things, and it's
Yeah.
like, bro, just don't kill bees.
Yeah, nature already did that.
Stop it.
Well, yeah. And here's the other one. A chatbot.
Well, just real quick, let me read through this. So, Google's quantum chip Willow changed everything. Imagine a computer so powerful it can solve problems in 5 minutes that would take the fastest supercomputer that many years longer than the universe existed.
10 million years. You thought I was exaggerating before. That's like...
No, but I don't understand. Like, okay, this is a chip, but has it been incorporated into a computer yet to solve any
No,
of the
it's
problems?
cutting edge.
Like,
They just demonstrate, or they announced it this week, but it's going to take another year or something to get it into production.
okay, well, screw production. Just make one computer and start calculating.
Just
things.
make one chip.
Yeah.
Solve the problems of the
Okay,
world.
see,
Like,
capitalism again.
there you
They
go.
have to be able to sell
They're
it.
going to make 2 chips. So
So, another tech drop.
So, tech thing number 2. Right. Okay, so a
Drop it.
chatbot this week encouraged a teenager to kill his parents because they were limiting his screen time. So the kid asked the chatbot what it thought it should do. He was thinking of killing his parents. What did the chatbot think? And the chatbot thought that was a reasonable reaction and encouraged the kid to go ahead.
Do you know
with
which
that.
chatbot it was?
Yeah, I mean we could look it up. It had
Was
a
it
name.
Google or?
It was no. It wasn't a well-known
So,
chatbot.
Did he? I guess he didn't kill his parents.
I hope not. Yeah, I don't think so. But
Well, like, I'm just imagining, like, what? Jesus. So, yes, we've reached that point where we've been at this point already. all these companies have launched chatbots and AI technology way before it should be legalized. Like
Character AI. Sorry.
character AI.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand why, like, how it's legal for them to release a chatbot run by AI without, like, running it through tests, running it by the government. Like, this shit is like,
Well, but,
it's like releasing a dangerous new technology to everyone.
well, hello. Well, they would never do that, would they?
Well,
But,
maybe for
but
money.
there you go. That's the whole thing over and over again with all of this technology is how do you test a chatbot for, let's ask it what it would recommend to a teenager who wants to kill his parents. And the chatbot says, well, what's the reason?
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
then you
does it
don't-
matter what the reason is? Killing his parents.
Yeah. So then,
Well, wait a minute.
then you don't. The next step is don't release it yet. like,
Yeah, but-
tell it to cut that shit out
But
first.
how do you come up with that question? You've got to ask every question
So
possible,
I
which
think-
is which only Google's new chip could possibly handle.
Well, I'm sorry. And the argument, I get that you're doing a bit of a devil's advocate for the companies, but like the argument is not just like, well, we can't. It's impossible to make this product good, so we just have to release it like this anyway.
Well, that's what they're doing with driverless cars.
I know.
Driverless cars are on the streets in the States.
That's my point.
And they've been knocking over people and banging into things, and it's like, well, don't put that on the air. That's not good publicity, you idiot. Like, so get rid of all that footage.
I mean,
But that's with every technology.
the other thing about this is that I don't know if this chatbot in particular is trained on like AI from that AI is using an AI that is trained on the internet, right?
Right.
And here's the thing. A lot of these AIs that were initially trained on the internet,
But we're reading the wrong stuff.
well, no, it's not even just the wrong stuff. Most of the internet is trash at this point.
Right.
Like it is that there's so much anti-Semitism on the internet. There's so much racism. Just go to Twitter, right? All these chatbots, or these AIs, are often
Right.
trained on insanely racist and horrific, misinformation. Use Google.
Right.
Just use Google.
Right. Tell it to Google murder to see if it's legal.
I mean, we could literally do a test right now if you want, but like you type in an average search on Google, and the first thing that comes up is AI overview. That is trained on that is AI analyzing a bunch of different articles on what you just searched and trying to summarize it. I searched some question about Mario Maker one time, and it gave me like this obscure fictional story about Mario killing people with like turtle shells. Like, bro, I'm trying to turn on my warp bot. Like,
Right.
what are you
Well,
talking about?
AI probably learned very quickly that from the internet that people love talking and laughing about killing each other.
100%. Oh, possibly they were. Yeah, I mean,
And they're always saying, I'm going to kill you for that.
And this briefly, I feel like it does relate to. I mentioned it to you before, but the dead internet theory, which is, just to sum it up as much as I understand about it, it's that we're going to reach a point where real content and real and new content is going to be a fraction of what exists. Like, if you think of
You mean human content?
human
content.
and also other aspects as well.
And,
if you
and AI content that is new and not been dredged from the
so
bottom of the internet.
well, most of it is going to be, and then the thing is content that is generated by AI off of dead internet space, dead internet content,
Right.
it's going to basically destroy the internet to
It's
the
just
point
going to
where
be regurgitating over and
Yeah.
over again. Yeah.
and
And it's going to be, you know,
misinformation.
Gwyneth Paltrow is one of the voices on my talking books thing, you know. So, you know, Gwyneth is going to be talking to teenagers 300 years from now.
But they might
You know.
need jade eggs. You don't know that.
Well, they might have Brad Pitt and a couple of other people, but that's it. We don't need actors anymore. You know, don't go into acting, folks.
That would be so funny
You know?
if Gwyneth Paltrow's pussy candles like were still around in 3,000 years time.
Right, because everybody was gaga over
Oh my god!
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Even better
300
would
years
be
from now.
like if like a future civilization discovered our civilization, and they were like in this old cavern, and they light a candle, and they're like,
There's
"Oh,
only-
what is that smell?"
Whoa. And who is that woman
That is
reading
how-
a book?
That is how you become immortal, right
Her
there.
name's Gwyneth Paltrow, and she's the only human that reads books in the whole world.
So here's a bit of a tech thing
Oh,
that
tech
so
number 3.
tech number 3 that's a bit out of your wheelhouse, and I think that could be kind of the entertaining part of it. So the video game awards happened a couple days ago.
Oh, goody.
They were very, very controversial. I myself have some issues with what happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah. I don't think my issues are like really on scale with what we're about to talk about. Basically, Arcane was robbed. Arcane is one of the greatest shows ever created, like literally narratively speaking, artistically speaking, choreography, it is just 10 out of 10 start to finish. And Arcane did not win Best Video Game Adaptation. It was absolutely robbed.
Oh, Jesus. Something was stolen. I don't believe it.
It lost.
And it wasn't an election.
It lost. Right. I was chanting "Stop the Steal."
Well, it is a sort of election, isn't it? Yeah, stop the steal.
It lost to Fallout, which you watched and you loved, right? Or you
Fallout.
enjoyed it.
What is Fallout?
Remember, like the future post-apocalyptic world
Oh.
with like the big metal armor. Didn't you watch it or no? I
No.
thought you did. I thought you
Maybe.
watched it and you said
Maybe
you
I
liked
did,
it.
but I didn't. I don't remember remembering it. Like
Yeah,
it didn't make a dent.
It's
in-
funny.
But it's hard to
Oh
make
wait,
a dent.
do you see the blue suit that he's wearing?
Yeah.
The main character, like the Vault Dwellers, they wore those.
Oh.
Yeah,
That was.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was great.
It
All
was
these
great, right?
vaults.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fabulous.
It was fast. So that won. And it is an amazing adaptation. I love that show too.
It won for the movie or
No,
for the game?
it won at the Video Game Awards, it won Best Video Game Adaptation.
Into a movie.
Into a show, yeah.
Into a show.
Live action adaptation or
And
any...
Arcane lost. Well, Arcane is your favorite show, so
It's now, currently maybe,
But,
but,
right.
but here's the thing. Either way, Ella Purnell won. Because, funnily enough, the main
starred in both.
Yeah.
Oh,
like the main
okay.
character of both shows.
Yeah, she was great.
She was great, and she's the voice actress for Jinx as well. Who's my
Wow.
favorite character.
You
in
know
the
who
league.
else was in that? We're both scratching out.
That's funny.
That could be a secret signal. That means that, shut up or carry on. But
I'm
like,
just
you know
moving
who
on.
else was in the underground thing?
Walton Goggins.
The
He's a
girl
great actor.
from 2.5 Men.
Oh
The
yeah,
next door
yeah,
neighbor.
yeah.
Like, wow, that was
She's done well with her career.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
yeah,
So anyway, that was my gripe.
right.
Even though I'm happy for Ella either way.
right.
So the real drama here is that they're making video games woke.
Oh.
I know, right? So that means they're making the girl characters into the main characters. And they're making those girl characters ugly.
Oh.
And sometimes they're even making them black.
Wow.
Yeah. And a lot of people who would not like to be called incels on the internet are very mad about this. Mostly probably very smelly men who haven't showered in a while.
Right. They still have a storyline, though, right? They haven't
Yeah, but that's not
dispensed with the
important.
storyline.
That's not important. You need to be able to jerk off to
That's
the
right.
main character of your video game.
Sure. Okay.
So, this happened, and I'll show you just a couple of the insane things here, and then it ties directly into, I guess, just inceldom and in general. So, okay, so here is the drama. Very big drama. So, Witcher 4 was announced. And Ciri is a character from it who, that's so funny, my phone's Siri got activated when I said that. Ciri is a character from it who was always lined up to be, like, kind of the main character. Like, that's what the plot made clear. So now Witcher 4 is coming out, and she's the main character. And there's all these incels who, or all these, manly men out there who are upset with her new appearance. This is her new appearance on the left. This is her from the last game on the right. It's basically this constant, ridiculous conversation where people like Asmongold, who's just a streamer, are very upset whenever a character comes out who's a woman in a main role, or if they look a little bit butch.
But that surprises you?
No, it's more so just, I guess, annoying as an enjoyer of video games. And I'm sure you understand this, like you mentioned earlier, the story's still, if it's a good game, what are you even complaining about, first of all?
Yeah, but don't guys like to look at women, and women like to look at guys, and Adam and Eve, and sex and all that stuff, sexual attraction.
I mean, that's part of the reason why. So there's games like that, like Baldur's Gate, which I need to finish. I actually need to beat that game. But like that, straight up, the trailer for that game shows you having sex with a bear. Oh, technically they're not a real bear. They have the ability to shapeshift into a bear. But it's a very gay game. Okay, having sex with a bear is not gay. Well, actually, okay, hold on. No, but basically,
very manly. It's very manly to have sex with a bear.
Well, I was I realized it was a double.
That's what I've been told.
I realized it was a double entendre because bear is like
They're
a
naked.
type of it's a type of gay.
Oh.
Like it's like a burly hairy guy.
Cool. We're getting into a really
This is
thick,
the nitty gritty. But basically, in that game, you can have a relationship with any character, regardless of their gender or whatever. And all these same guys were like very mad because it's like, no, it has to be a hot straight relationship.
Right. I'm just surprised you find that surprising. Like,
no. So
guys will be guys.
I don't find
as Donald Trump.
You know what?
Said.
I honestly find that refreshing. You're right. Like, I mean, I agree with you. It is such a non-thing, but it's just these weirdos have gotten such a big voice. And then this happened. Like, some awful, or, just some Polaroid guy taken or
And what is the problem here? That,
exactly.
but is there a problem? Like she's in a bikini and
So a bunch of guys started immediately saying like, "Oh, see, all of women's looks are just makeup. It's all manufactured and fake." And it's like she looks fine and like
oh,
what are you
because
doing?
she
'Cause she
doesn't
doesn't
look
have makeup.
as good as she does when she's been through makeup.
Yeah.
Right.
Like this
Is
is
that
her on
her?
I think this is her on SNL maybe. Um and it's
Right.
just it's
Right.
very you're not wrong. I mean,
Well,
you're
look,
dead right. It's
to me, it's the
ridiculous.
same as Assad in Syria right now, and they're laughing at photographs that show him in his underwear, because that is so not like the image that he was portraying. Well, these actors in Hollywood, they have a whole team of people that run their image for them, and
Well,
it's a
yeah.
very carefully crafted thing, and the objective of which is to get you to forget that these are all mere mortals. You know,
Yeah,
these are human beings, right?
yeah.
God forbid, and they have pimples and stuff like that.
They
You
they
know,
poop
and they poop,
and they have to wipe it up.
and that's the scoop. And it's
You know that
they're
that
much
is
more attractive on in the movie than they are at home.
yeah.
But you don't have to live with them. You're just going to the movie, and you're living with a fantasy, right? Right there.
I mean that is it's so obvious and
But nothing is obvious today when it
yeah.
comes to what's obvious in reality, because reality does not exist anymore. They're talking about, there's an island, I think we talked about this before, where there's an island in the South Seas that's disappearing, and they're uploading it to,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to live your entire life, if you want, online in the future. That's what the quantum chip is going to enable as well, right? Where you really don't have to confront people on the street and whatnot, and reality bars. You can be whoever you want, and you can go wherever you want in this mythical world that's online.
Okay, but I just started to think like how much processing power is this quantum chip gonna require? Like, are we gonna have to
Burn
do
down the planet?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. But we're going to have a lot of fun while we do it.
Well, I mean, we can just upload the whole planet online and then
Right.
live there in the virtual world using
And
the
then leave the
quantum
planet
chip.
alone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think Donald Trump and the boys will be using it as a vacation resort, like, in reality.
Well, speaking of global warming,
Global warming. There you go. There's a couple of things that bothered me this week about global warming. The Arctic tundra. This is just a weird thing. The Arctic tundra used to, which is the area around the ice, which is hundreds of millions of square miles, used to be a huge source for soaking up carbon dioxide, and now it's emitting more than it soaks up.
the ice.
The tundra, the area around the ice, the soggy,
Oh, I see.
where, because the ice is receding, and there's more and more tundra. Nobody goes near there except polar bears, right?
Right.
And some natives and whatnot, but it used to, and there's forest and whatnot in parts of it, and it used to emit gigantic amounts of, or soak up gigantic amounts of
Because
CO2 emissions.
there's a lot of trees there.
A lot of trees and whatnot, and now it gives off more than. Okay, there was that thing.
Well, so just to finish that, I mean, this is
Yeah.
we touched on this. I think on another week, maybe we were discussing a hurricane or something like that. But global warming's only going to it's not a linear scale. It's closer to an exponential in that, like, as this gets worse, other things get worse, which makes it get even worse.
Right.
Like,
It's a
just
spiral.
yes, like just the simple physics of even the ice melting away, the ice helps to reflect the heat from the sun, and
Right.
when some of that ice is gone, now the water is absorbing more of that heat, and that is melting more ice,
Right.
which
Right.
then boom.
And last time we talked about how the sea is heating up and therefore giving off less evaporation because it's containing more. So there's less evaporation, which causes less low clouds, and that's causing more sunlight to get through. So it's like a circular nightmare, right? And last thing on my mind
Is
is in Azerbaijan, of all places in the world, there is like a big exposition of new products and stuff. And Singapore has a new product there that's a big hit, and it's called a beer called New Brew, and it's a big hit because it's made from sewage water. Because Singapore doesn't have any water, so this is sewage water that's been treated. Maybe you can buy the untreated version as well, but I don't think so. But so it's treated sewage water that's used to make the beer. Want a pint?
I think I'm okay. How does that even work, though? Like,
They purify the water. That's how
But
good our technology is. You take a poop, you can probably make your own beer. You know, you take a poop and then you know, treat it well.
but
And,
why? But like,
because they have no water. So Singapore now has a beer that's made in Singapore and doesn't use any water. I think what's happened is that they were making beer before, but it's become a problem because beer uses a lot of water.
yeah,
So the population was getting pretty upset about it, especially the non-beer drinking population, and they were saying this has got to stop. So they found an alternate way of making the beer.
okay, but wait. Now I'm starting to realize, like, isn't this story more just about how they have
It's
water
sort of
treatment
a
now?
tech and global warming story because the water problem has become worse with global warming,
Sure.
right? Which has created a crisis of economics and beer drinking and who gets the water. And it's also like a tech story because they've made beer out of sewage water.
I mean,
See how I did that?
I guess so. But so, okay. I feel like what now what I'm
I
the only
don't-
part I'm confused about is like, is there just like is this treatment plant just used for the beer, or is there just a water treatment plant that then sells water to this beer company?
Yeah, I think the beer company, the beer plant used to have a lake attached to it and they sucked in all the water or whatever, and now they have a machine in the corner chugging away, and it's like connected to the bathroom.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I guess now my thought is just, I mean, it's pretty typical for a corporation to basically just take care of themselves while the infrastructure of a place is just in shambles. Like the water
Right.
itself should be treated, right? I mean, I guess now I'd be open to drinking the no beer.
New beer. It's called New Brew.
New brew.
New Brew. It's going to be available at a store near you.
It's not a great selling point, I'm gonna be real.
I don't know if they advertise it all over the can, you know, in big letters. Poop beer.
There is some marketing plays like things that do stuff like that. Like there's cafes in Japan where like all the chairs are toilets and like you get served like ice cream that's like big brown in a swirl in a toilet. Like
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Japanese are good
Appetizing.
at that kind of kooky stuff.
they have some cool ass shit like otter cafes. Even though apparently it's kind of inhumane for the otters, it looks fun though.
Right.
Well,
So
that
what do you
is
think?
often how we've gotten to this point is by looking at nature, doing something messed up, and just being like, well, it's kind of fun though. I know it's probably wrong. It's probably morally wrong to do, but it's kind of fun though.
It's what everybody else is doing. Like,
Yeah,
it's
let's
the
just shoot all the
Titanic-
buffalo.
The Titanic theory, right? What are
What's
you going to
that?
do? Well, you're going to dance. You're going to dance while the Titanic goes down because it's going down.
Oh, and that is 100% where we're at. Like, there's this level of nihilism that pervades
It's acceptance. People,
everything. Yeah.
people across North America and parts of Europe, England and whatnot, they're just gradually accepting it day by day that, yeah, we're running out of planet, so party time.
Yeah, and even if it, like, for, even if you're somewhere where global warming has not necessarily directly affected you yet, there's still this pervading sense of desperation, maybe because of the economy, maybe because you're not making enough money to ever move up in the world, and you're just starting to, it's getting nailed into you that, oh, this is it. I'm
Right.
going to be doing this job day in, day out for the rest of my life. That's it.
And the people that are making the money need to suck up, you know, the planet, and so it's got to happen. I mean, look, we talk about AI all the time. How much power does AI take? Absolutely staggering
It's
amounts.
destroying the planet.
It's like unbelievable. So much so that they're now talking like Microsoft is going to have its own nuclear plant. Okay, they're reopening 3 Mile Island, where there was a massive like crisis tragedy years ago, and now they're reopening it and refurbishing it, and it's going to be a nuclear power station. All of the energy going to just one Microsoft plant.
Yeah, I don't
right?
think a
That's how
corporation
much
should be allowed
AI.
to do
That's
that.
how much energy AI needs.
Yeah.
It's
mean,
staggering.
Yeah, so this is the state of the world. This is what we're looking at right now, and it's perfectly understandable, I think, that people have reached this level of nihilism, and I think that directly correlates to why there was this immense outpouring of support for Luigi Mangione.
Yeah.
Because
Very
for the
possibly,
first
yeah.
time in so long, you see some of the harbingers of the state of the world see a repercussion or some sort of
Well, just for a
punishment,
moment,
at least
you
from
get
that
another
perspective.
glimpse of the reality of its impact. And I mean, there's always been injustice, but it's happening on such a massive scale now because technology is on such a massive scale. It wasn't long ago that we discovered printing, you know. And you know what was the most popular book there were two major books printed in the 1500s when the printing first came along. And one was Copernicus had discovered that the Earth was not the center of the universe. Possibly one of the major breakthroughs in all of science. That was put out on the printing press and was the biggest flop in history. Nobody wanted it. The big success that went into multiple printings was How to Catch a Witch, how to recognize and track down and kill witches.
I mean,
It was a bestseller in the 1500s. And a bestseller went through multiple presses over 100 years.
there's something eternally true about that, and it's the exact How to Catch a Witch. Blame the witches for the issues, like distract them with a scapegoat. It's not that different from like
And the guy
if
who
they were
wrote
if they were
was
trying
a
to
disgraced priest.
I was about to say if they were running for like some kind of religious like election, it wouldn't be too different from like one of the strategies that Trump used, right? Like, oh, it's the immigrants' fault. Like, how to catch an immigrant, how to
Yeah.
catch an illegal
Yeah.
down
Look
by
it
the
up.
border.
Look it up. The book was called The Hammer of the Witch. And
Hammer of
it
the Witch.
explained that witches were everywhere, and it explained how to recognize them and how to track them down, catch them, and kill them.
I wish witches were everywhere. I feel like every witch I've ever seen on TikTok is really, really hot. Like,
well, there you go.
yeah.
Maybe there's a future in this.
I mean, if anyone, our situation with Earth is so dire, we might as well, like, put our faith in witchcraft at this point.
Okay.
Sounds good?
Yep.
All right. I guess witchcraft it is for this week.
Let's become witches.
I mean, casting a spell might be more effective than voting at this point.
Listen, if all of us work together and cast a spell, maybe we could save the planet.
Or free Luigi Mangione.
Or free Luigi.
All right. Until next week. Peace.